Hello and welcome back to the MJM Grand Sports Talk Show here on Thursday. We are here, Matt Shalloe as always, with Ryan McSpedon, and it's Thursday. So Chris and Everett, how you boys doing today?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Nice to be live.
Yeah, no, definitely. Chris, what were you saying?
I just asked how you were doing.
I'm doing fantastic.
All right.
Actually, yeah. Not too much to complain about. Nice off day for us today, no class, so that's exciting. And actually, what was it? This morning, early afternoon, we had another NFL trade, another
Like 11:30.
Former Pro Bowl quarterback, almost MVP, on the move. Carson Wentz is going to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2021 third-round pick and a 2022 conditional second-round pick that can become a first-round pick if he plays, 75% of snaps, something like that?
75% of his snaps. Yeah.
And then 70% if they make the playoffs, which
It'd be hard not to with a team like that, right?
I hope so.
I'm a big Carson Wentz fan. I wish he would have been better last year. Obviously, deserved to be benched. Had to be done. I'm nothing against the Eagles for doing that. Wish they would have gave him another shot this year, but it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to really correct after it went as poorly as it did last year. Best situation for him, back with Frank Reich, who was his OC in that season when they went to the Super Bowl, and he was an MVP candidate before getting injured. But I don't know if, like you said earlier, Chris, if there was ever a way to resurrect his career, this is probably the best way to do it, right, with Frank Reich?
I think so, yeah. Personally, I think for the Colts, this is kind of a low-risk, high-reward situation yet again. I think if this team gets to the playoffs, they could definitely make some noise, and it's absolutely worth the first and the third. But there's also some tendencies that he's going to need to kind of shake out of his system from playing with the Eagles.
Definitely. One of the things that I'm most excited about is kind of the Eagles this year. Their offensive line was in shambles all year long, a lot of injuries, and the Colts probably have one of the best, if not the absolute best, offensive line in football. Yes, the weapons are there too. You look at, they got to re-sign Hilton. Guys like Zach Pascal are free agents, but Michael Pittman Jr., Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, great running backs. He's surrounded by talent outside, but like I said, for me, it comes down to the offensive line. He has more protection, more time to make plays, the time that he really didn't have last year in Philadelphia, which I believe was one of the main reasons for his struggle. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And not to mention that defense is among one of the best in the NFL too. And personally, I'm putting the Colts right now. I think they're the third best team in the AFC behind the Chiefs and the Bills. I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Ravens, but when we see them kind of falter come playoff time, the Titans are still good too. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think the Colts will win that division, but it's not like it's a foregone conclusion. The Titans are still, right up there with them. And obviously they won it this past year, so you can't write them off. But a team like Houston and Jacksonville, obviously they're better than them. I don't know.
Well, I think that the Titans are going to take a big dip this season, especially after losing Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to rework pretty much that entire offense because there's no way you're going to go out there and recreate what you had the last two seasons with Derrick Henry without the scheme that Arthur Smith was running. So I think that this division is now the Colts to lose. I don't know necessarily if Wentz can really get back to that MVP form, but with the team that he has behind him, I just think he has to be a top 15 quarterback to get this team into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so, and I think he's still capable of it. But like you said, we kind of have to wait and see. I don't know if he can ever regain that MVP form. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Brian, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I think I have to agree with you. I think they probably are the third best team in the AFC right now. And Wentz, I was tough on him this year because, well, obviously he didn't play well, but he also was not in a good situation, as you said. He was basically running for his life every snap, and he didn't really. Who was he throwing the ball to? He wasn't he really didn't.
Travis Fulgham.
Yeah, he didn't have anyone.
Jalen Reagor sometimes.
So now, yes, he's going to a place where now he has to step it up because he has an offensive line, he has a running game. Assuming they bring back T.Y. Hilton, and then you have Pittman, Pascal, all those guys. They can be that's a top team in the AFC, and they went toe to toe with your Bills. They almost
sure did,
and that was with Phillip Rivers, who can't run to save his life. Not saying, but Wentz could definitely.
He is in comparison.
Yeah, comparison definitely.
So it's definitely. I think it's good for both sides because you could tell that this was really the only place Wentz wanted to be traded to. He wanted no part of the Bears, and I can't really blame him for that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And also for Frank Reich, this is back to 2017 Eagles here, and I think they're going to do big things. And I told you earlier, I like Carson Wentz's odds for comeback player of the year. I think that's I think it's going to be a very strong move.
He's got a shot, but that's going to be quite the competition this year with all the injuries we had. This, like, you look at Saquon, Joe Burrow, Joey Bosa, the list goes on and on with all the guys that were hurt that could potentially win that award. Where do you rank? Like I said, I think the Colts are third best. Kind of regret that. They might not be better than the Browns. For me, it's between them and the Browns, third best team in the AFC. Where do you have them? Do you think the Titans are better? We heard Chris's thoughts. What do you think?
No, I think the Colts are the best team in that division now. I think the Titans are going to fall off next year. I think you start to see it a little bit at the end. Like Tannehill, he's fine, but he's not going to win you the big games that you need to win. And I feel like this year they're really going to start to
step back, maybe back to that 9-7 Titans type team. And I don't. When looking at the elites, they're not better than Kansas City or Buffalo. Cleveland.
Yeah, for me, that's the only.
Cleveland's a toss-up, but I guess after last year, and assuming OBJ comes back, and who knows, maybe they land.
No, keep OBJ out.
I'd trade him.
You don't want him there.
I guess, I would say a 4 seed right now in the AFC.
That gets it done. You're hosting a playoff game.
And, hosting a playoff. I definitely think they are the best team in the AFC South because I think the Titans are going to take a step back. The Jags obviously depends on how good Lawrence is right away, but the Jags, even then, probably a year or two away at the least, and then the Texans, they're just a mess. So I like the Colts odds right now in that AFC South.
Well, then the Titans obviously need to address some issues defensively. They were just abysmal last year on that side of the ball.
They don't get to the quarterback at all.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. That's something needs to be seen. Side note, Chris, you're also an OBJ hater. Is that what I hear?
Yeah, especially in the Browns. I mean,
Smart.
He's one of those guys you just got to force the ball just to keep him happy. He's a diva. He's kind of.
I think he should be moved. Don't know.
I don't know who would take him.
I don't know where he should go.
It's been discussed for the last year and a half now. So
kind of switching gears to another quarterback. We heard Steelers GM Kevin Colbert non-committal on the future of Ben Roethlisberger the other day. He said kind of the same thing that the Rams said about Jared Goff. He's our quarterback today. What the Rams said about Goff. A week or two later, he was traded.
Week later, traded, yeah.
Something is going to have to happen with Big Ben, whether it's moving his contract or restructuring him because they have no money and he's not worth the 40-some he's due. It's some crazy number. I don't know. Do you take this? Do you think he'll be moved? I don't know.
Who's on him? That's my thing.
That's the question. I should force him into retirement.
His contract's tough to move on from.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they do need to. I don't think they're going to be very good. I mean, you got guys like your starting running back James Conner's a free agent, probably not going to be back. You're arguably number one. I guess we'll say number two receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster, free agent, probably not going to be back. You had Pouncey retire. Anchored the O line.
Yep.
Villanueva getting older, the left tackle. I don't know. Big Ben obviously getting older. Was he that good last year? I mean, they were 11-0. They kind of won
they won games based on their defense a lot.
And the defense should still be good. I mean, they get Devin Bush back after he was hurt last year, and you still got Minka Fitzpatrick and all those guys. TJ Watt, could add JJ Watt, still remains to be seen, like I said.
They have to sign Bud Dupree.
Yeah, definitely have to sign him. I don't know. I think they know that they need to move on from Ben, but last year in his deal, I think they might just write it out, take 7-9, 8-8-ish season, and just because there's not really much they can do.
Here's the thing that's tough for them is that, as I said, Big Ben's contract doesn't help them at all. But right now, and this could become a theme, I know we've spoke about this several times on the show, but right now it seems like there's a lot of quarterbacks out there for the taking. And if you're Pittsburgh, do you take your shot right now? Because who knows what next offseason is going to look like? Or, as you said, do you ride it out with Big Ben and hope for the best? I personally don't think that's the option they should go. But, especially when there's quarterbacks out there, I don't think Sam Darnold would go there, but a Sam Darnold or maybe trading for someone or a free agent. It's just tough because with their cap situation, there's not much they can do, but they're in a brutal spot because I don't think Big Ben's going to win them anything. I think you saw it last year. He's done, and it looks like he's only going to get worse. And I don't know how much can that defense really carry you. So it's tough for Pittsburgh because, like I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there, but the cap space is the number one problem. Make that work. And by making it work, you're going to have to move Big Ben's contract. I just don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, but even if you move his contract, they're going to eat up a lot of that dead money in the first place. So, but I know they save I think his roster bonus is something like $8 million. So if you were to cut him, there's at least that you take out of it if you were to try to force him into retirement.
What if I told you that the successor to Ben Roethlisberger is already on the Steelers roster?
Who?
Dwayne Haskins.
No. Mason Rudolph.
Oh, my
I mean, he's
goodness.
17. He played well.
Yeah.
I think he'd be, well, maybe not like the answer, but I think he could be a good like bridge quarterback for 2 years.
Well, I think their defense is good enough that they can still win them games pretty
He
much
wouldn't have-
regardless who's there at quarterback. It's just you have to bring
Mhm.
guys back. Yeah.
I think he'd have to play outstanding, but I don't know. Like I said, I think that they realize that they need to move on from Big Ben, but they really can't. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
It's tough.
We're going to take our first break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the enormous lot of cash that was handed to Fernando Tatis Jr. yesterday, and a familiar face in both baseball and football said goodbye yesterday. Tim Tebow. We'll talk on that. So like I said, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you for tuning in to the MJM Brand Sports Talk Show on WSBU The Buzz. We'll be right back. And we are back here on the MJM Grand Sports Talk Show. Matt Shalloe, Ryan McSpedon, Chris Navarrete. And like I said before, we're going to go to break.
That guy got paid.
He did. Is it too early, though? Chris, what do you think?
Well, I hate all of these baseball deals that last forever in the first place. I just think no. This is actually what no. Well, I'm not a huge fan of baseball, but that's a whole other thing. I think this is the first one that I could sit there and actually see potential of the guy actually being there and getting paid almost the entire time. Usually they give them to these guys when they're too old.
Yeah, no, that's fair. What is he, 21, 22 years old? So, yeah 21, so I'll be 35. For me, great deal, great player. Could prove to be a steal. Probably will prove to be a steal, but he's played just over a little over 100 games in his MLB career. Yes, he's been great, but what if he's just not? What if they're just tied to that? I think he will be, but it seems like a lot of money to hand to a guy, $340 million after just a little over 100 games in a career. I think it'll be worth it, but I'm just saying, what if it's not? You know what I mean?
No, I actually like it in the sense of the time span that it actually, lapse into.
And Ryan, you said yesterday, it breaks down to $24 million a year. That when you look at it that way, it's a steal. If he's playing the way he is, it's beyond a steal.
Also, you gotta wait and see a detailed breakdown, because who knows exactly how not necessarily cap hits, but the money is spread out, because who knows, he could be making, I don't know, 40 the last couple of years, because I imagine that it progressively builds. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, definitely. And I just I don't understand, where did the Padres, when did they become this free spending team? Obviously, we saw a couple years ago they signed Manny Machado, and that's another thing now between Machado and Tatis, the left side of their infield, they paid the two of them a combined $640 million when you had the two contracts together. That's kind of absurd. But a couple offseasons ago, they signed Hosmer to big money. They traded for Darvish this offseason, who brings over his big contract they signed with the Cubs a couple offseasons ago. They're spending the money now. They're trying to keep up with the Dodgers, and if you want to keep up with the Dodgers, you have to spend. But I like seeing this out of them. We're not really used to this, but I don't know.
I think it's a steal for both sides. I think it's great for both sides, because you have guys 22, and you figure you're going to have superstardom for at least the next 8 to 10 years. So that's already 8 to 10 years that you're paying a guy $24 million to be an absolute stud. And even if he, let's say by 32, let's say it's 10 years. By 32, if he starts to wear off, okay, that's only a couple more years of paying the guy. And honestly, if he's that good, you don't care how much you're paying him. And also, when looking at it from Tatis' side, now he's set, because God forbid he takes a step back, which I wouldn't anticipate people do.
But if he takes a step back, he gets injured, he's good to go. He's safe. He's locked in for 14 years, and he has $340 million. So I think for both sides, this is really going to work out, because, as I said, I just can't see Tatis getting any worse. And I think the sky's the limit. He's only going to get better. He's 22, and each season's just he's insane. So each season's going to get better. And I see we have some guys commenting.
Yeah, we got a little comment here.
Love seeing that.
My buddy Colin Tong, high school friend, says, funny thing is, once this deal is done, the Mets will still have one more year paying.
That is true. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Listening,
but interesting. And Kenny, Jason, all the guys listening. Another question earlier from Will wants to know if Rasmus Ristolainen is the elite defenseman. No Sabres talk earlier, but we'll address that. But no, I like the deal. Yeah, like I said, there is that small chance though that it's just not.
There is, and then.
But you take that risk. But look at what I saw today. The contracts that Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies are getting paid.
Acuna should fire his agent.
Yeah,
really.
That's sad.
Come on.
Because Acuna is just as good, if not better, than Tatis. Tatis, like I said, has only played 120 games or whatever over his first 2 years. But yeah, what's he get paid $24 million annually?
Yeah.
He signed that way too soon. Like you said, he should really fire his agent. But I don't know. I think it'll prove to be a good deal in the long run. Hopefully, like I said, there's that small chance. You never know. I think the Padres could be a very good team for a very long time.
I think they could go to the World Series this year. If they can get past the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are a team, for me, if they were in another division trying to compete with the Dodgers, you know what I mean? Trying to stack, like the Mets are, I'd say like, no shot. But the Padres, you'll get to see the Dodgers 18 to 20 times a year. They've seen them in the past. Like, I mean, when they get out there and face the Dodgers, it's not like anything new to them. So if they were to meet them in the playoffs, I mean, they'd have a sense of how to beat them. And I think that will be your NLCS come October. Well, that's way down the line. But I don't know. I think if any team in the National League is going to beat the Dodgers, I think it's the Padres.
Also, so I know I asked you this last night. I'll ask you again. If Tatis were the Yankees shortstop, as a Yankee,
they do need a shortstop.
Would you give him that deal?
Yeah.
I would say.
Might as well just throw the money at him. You already threw it at Giancarlo, so.
Well, actually, they traded for that. That was not their idea.
Well, they still
inherited
brought it in.
He had 50 home runs this year.
Yeah,
so
right. Okay.
I'll have 40. If he stays healthy, he'll have 40 easily.
If he stays healthy. When was the last time he was healthy?
We'll see. This year was the last time he's healthy. Check back with me.
This
But,
would be a Gleyber type deal.
No, that's what I was just going to say. If Gleyber, finally, pulls his head out of his you-know-what and has a good – like defensively, I mean, he can hit. Last year, I don't take anything, last year short season, whatever, chalk it up. He was hurt a little bit. Defensively, he was kind of worrisome last year, but I guess we'll see.
I think he's better suited at second base.
Yeah, I definitely do too. But if he has, like, I don't know, hits 300, 35 home runs, over 100 RBIs like he did, or what he hit, like –
very capable of doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
The playoffs the prior season just lit up.
What kind of deal could you see him getting compared to this? What is he? He'll be 20 for a little bit older.
Probably like a 10-year deal for $300 million, something like that.
Gee whiz.
If he's that good, which we hope he is. But
The fact that 300 mil is just the norm now in baseball for these guys.
also
Utterly
at the
ridiculous.
bar.
How about with Francisco Lindor? How much is he going to get paid?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he has 1 year left on his deal,
Who
and
is
I would
going
think
to
he
pay?
stays with the Mets. But
Yeah, like but
He
he says
doesn't
he
want to
doesn't
discuss
have
the season. So, I mean, I don't know if that counts spring training. Once he shows up and gets to work, he doesn't want to discuss. So, like, are we putting a cap on that? I don't know. Sounds like he wants. Like, I'm sorry, I haven't heard a word about it yet. I thought that it'd be like one of those things they traded for him. He'd be extended.
Sign and trade type.
Yeah,
thing,
like he'd be extended 5 days.
because normally you wouldn't trade without getting a commitment from the guy, but they must believe that they can re-sign him in the offseason, and maybe that's what he said is my focus is on this season, and we'll worry about a contract extension in the offseason. But he's gonna. This is a deal that him and his agent should be looking at because he can get a very similar type deal.
Sad baseball news yesterday. Well, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Hey,
You're making me smile.
Chris is.
Yeah, Tim Tebow announced his retirement from
It's
baseball.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We get to see him on the SEC network more. That's it.
Tim Tebow
That's all that
is
means.
That's on the Jets.
He's a New York icon. Teammates with Tom Brady in New England too. So
Beat the Steelers in a wild card playoff game. He's a legend.
I wanted to see it work out. All right, I'm going to ask you when he first announced he was going to baseball. Did you guys give it any shot in the world?
No.
You never thought he'd make it? I thought he'd at least get called up. Like if the Mets were out of it late, it'd put fans in the seats.
Maybe it's September.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like oh it's the middle of June and we need an outfielder. Let's call up that Tebow guy. No, I never thought that. But,
Furthest he was going was Syracuse.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say.
And they only had him there to put fans in the seats.
Yeah, and it worked. It's Tim Tebow.
Not
Oh, yeah,
really.
no,
I went to some of those games. It still wasn't. There still were not as many people there as you'd want.
Yeah, but the ones that were there for Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I think he could maybe be called up? Sure, but did I ever think he would have a career in it? I mean, not really.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just I don't know.
Just write another
Seems
book.
silly.
Get back on TV, Tim. It's okay.
We have an interesting question here, actually, and I like this one. Same person, Mr. Colin Tong. Do you think Urban Meyer adds Tim Tebow
Oh
to
my
his
God!
coaching staff?
Stop. No.
Why? I mean, I could see it. I think it'd be kind of cool, but
As what? As what? What do you want to add him as a quarterbacks coach?
oh no, but like I don't know, consultant, like trainer or something, like training assistant. I don't know. They make stuff up.
This
Like
is baffling.
there's just.
Oh, the guy's going back to the SEC network.
yeah,
End of
I
story.
know.
See you later.
I just like the hypothetical. Also, Jason Lemire, there is a new video of Tebow running routes with the thinky emoji and the eyes emoji.
He's not playing tight end. That ship sailed. That ship
That's
sailed
exactly.
years ago.
He's a quarterback.
On the
For
Jets?
the Jets.
He could play a taste of
Quarterback,
both.
Chris?
He could,
No.
like actually talking. Like Chris, I want you to look me in the eye right now. Why can't Tim Tebow do what Taysom Hill's doing right now?
I don't know. There's
He'd be a better Taysom Hill. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess
Chris is just biased against Tim Tebow because he likes.
he will not be on the Jaguars staff. He will not be a tight end. Chris is miserable.
Just go sit on the SEC Network desk. Call it a day. Talk about the Florida Gators. That's it.
To our next question, right? Is this what's next for him? Yeah, I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, no,
just stay on ESPN.
It's not like I said. He's not playing tight end. He's not going to coach football. Apparently, Chris said no, so he can't.
Stay as a college football analyst.
Yeah, that's where he was good. That's what he was good at. But yeah, no, sad to see. I thought maybe he'd get a September call up one of these years, but obviously as the Mets were getting better, like this
They got
offseason,
less and less likely.
you saw the writing on the wall. I used to love the Tim Tebow like spring training highlights though the past couple of years. When there was some.
It was just a gimmick. That's all it was.
Last year he was playing left field and he went for the fly ball and he fell. Wasn't that a bit? Yeah.
Also, some of those home runs, man.
Yeah,
He's a mammoth homer.
He's a big guy. He can hit.
What, Chris? Sorry.
He can hit.
This was a dual sport athlete. He tried, Chris.
No, a real dual sport athlete was Deion and Bo Jackson, not Tim Tebow.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Okay, you know what? We're not going to get into conspiracy theories here, but that was on David Stern. That's it.
Wait, well, because he left the game because of his gambling suspension? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
That's not conspiracy. I'm pretty sure that's true.
The GOAT on this show.
Second greatest basketball player of all time. But.
Okay, all right.
What?
Disrespect the man the day after his birthday. Unreal.
LeBron had a birthday. No one took a break to say he was the best of all time. Sorry for another day. We should have a whole debate on that Tuesday. But anything else on the Teamster?
See you on the SEC Network, buddy.
Chris said that's where he makes his money, and he has the face for TV. So
write another book, pal. I'll buy it.
I buy it. Great book. Read it a couple of years ago. Might read it again. I'm inspired. Was it Through My Eyes, right, or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Phil could be a coach somewhere or something like that someday. He said.
Well, Chris said no.
Maybe he could. I just think if he was a good team leader, maybe less of the guys on his old college team would have got arrested.
Yeah, that did. What is it like?
40.
Oh, well, Tim Tebow seemed to be a great guy. Wish it would have worked out for him. But whatever's next, we wish him best of luck. Probably the SEC more, like you said. But we're going to take our second break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Andre Drummond on the move from Cleveland. We kind of talked about it a little bit the other day about the Draymond Green comments, but we're going to give some landing spots for Andre Drummond, and then we're going to talk about a big game in the NBA tonight. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll do everyone's favorite segment, Locks of the Night. Me and Chris are both at 500 now, so it's go time for me. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do all that. Thank you for listening to the MJM Grant Talk Show on WSBU The Buzz. Hello and welcome back inside the MJM Grand Sports Talk Show. And like we said before break, Cavaliers center Andre Drummond will be on the move.
Poor
What's wrong with that? Poor Andre? Why?
Andre, he's going to get bought out, get all his money.
Yeah, he's going to get bought out because tough contract to move. We were talking about that a little bit before the show. There's some suitors out there. There's some good teams that could use a good defensive rebounding center. But at his current contract, not really affordable. So I think he's going to get bought out, signed for an affordable contract. But like you said, he won't care because he's going to be handed a wad of cash to go play for whoever he wants. I don't know. What do you think? Well, Mr. Drummond, what are the best landing spots for him?
Brooklyn.
The Hornets.
I love the Hornets.
They need a center.
Celtics.
Celtics too, obviously.
No Knicks.
Dare I say Clippers. I mean, they need to replace Montrezl Harrell from last year. Serge Ibaka is a good piece. I don't really trust him as like a true 5.
I heard the Clippers. I was just talking about that when they were playing the Cavs, of how Drummond would be a great fit here and how he loves LA and he has so many ties to LA. So, yes, that would.
I mean, really, any contending team besides the Lakers and then the Jazz, because they kind of Gobert's like another version of Drummond, but like. When you can add like rebounding like that, a little bit of scoring touch in the paint, sometimes gets a little loosey goosey with it. We've seen it, fly out of bounds and stuff like that. But Chris is shaking his head. We've seen it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just some.
You can add that defense. Like I think there'd be like a line out the door. But like I said, maybe right off the Jazz and Lakers. But any other team, like the Raptors, another team who could use a center.
And as Mo said the other day, they are in serious talks, them and Cleveland, about a potential deal.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the Celtics one a lot though because. I don't know. Their defense has been kind of lackluster ever since Marcus Smart got hurt. The great defender he is, it's kind of showed. They've been struggling a lot lately. I don't know. It'd be nice having him in the middle down there with Tatum and Brown and Kemba, all those guys.
I mean, what team wouldn't want him? Yeah. Simply because he averages like 15 rebounds a game, and
it's more sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to bring him in for scoring, other than catching lobs, maybe, but. As long as he's okay with getting a much smaller role than what his current contract would suggest he deserves. Obviously, he's going somewhere for maybe a few $1 million, nothing crazy at all.
Because like I said,
out.
Once he gets out, what does he care? He's getting handed all that money. He'll play. If it's on a good team, he'll make it work, make it affordable. I think it's going to be the Nets. I mean, that's what really kind of makes the most sense. Because of how terrible their defense has been,
he's exactly what they need, and it's one of those things that
4 stars in the lineup.
No, see Andre Drummond in the star term. That's a very loose term.
Yeah,
even
that he's a star because all he needs to do is rebound, which he can do, and points will be easy to come by because he'll get lobs and everything because you have to focus on the 3 other guys. So, I mean,
that's fair.
Is he not a star on the Nets? Like, he kind of is because all he's doing is rebounding.
Well, it's not like he'll be able to come back anyways. You know what I mean? That's
what the Nets need too, is defense.
He'd just be a hired gun on that team. He'd probably be a hired gun on most teams to the point where he'll just go into free agency right after that, and then he'll have to test his market value following that because
I don't even know what his actual market value would be. Like, I don't know if this guy's all he once was, if he was even really ever that much. I mean, centers like him are kind of just dying in the NBA. If you have like no shooting touch, which he does not, like they're rare to come by, don't you think? He's the old traditional center. It seems like, I don't know.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. I like the Hornets pick though, because the Hornets are kind of in it. They may not seem it, but it is the East. They're 13 and 15 right now, the 8th seed. Who they have at center, we talked about it earlier.
I mean,
Cody
Zeller, Bismack Biyombo, but they're actually really successful when they run P.J. Washington at the 5, and they go really small.
Like you did.
Yeah.
Against me.
Yes.
You did do that. Caught the loss, that's fine. But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see him being bought out and being like, oh, let's go to Charlotte. But it's a fun thought. I mean, they're one of the few teams that could actually afford him via trade. So, hey, if you're the Cavs and you want to get something for him, you send him to Charlotte.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know how that would go, but would be interesting. So tonight, 10 o'clock, those Brooklyn Nets that we were just talking about, they visit the Los Angeles Lakers. And
unfortunately, Lakers minus AD, and the Nets minus.
Yeah,
AD.
so it's
No full strength, but
not as hyped up as it would be, but could very well be the potential finals preview that we see come. What is it? June? Are they playing the finals nowadays?
Yeah,
July.
June.
Geez.
Late June.
Long season. But yeah, no, we could very well see this when the two teams are at full strength. I don't know. Lakers playing decent lately. Treading water. They've only had one game without AD. It was the other night, and they won. So good start. They played Minnesota, but yeah, a little closer than you thought. I am very disappointed in my guy Kyle Kuzma. I remember I pointed the finger at him Tuesday night. He has to step up. I think he had like 5 points or something. Whatever. Some days he's on, some days he's off. But like I said, like we were saying the other day, they have to replace AD. And Kuzma's going to be the one who does it in the lineup, but replacing him is going to be like more of a group effort. It's not like Kyle Kuzma's just going to turn into Anthony Davis. And we talked about how their defense is going to struggle, and they gave up, I think Anthony Edwards had his career high, 30-some points the other day. So defense, they gave up a lot more points than you would expect to a team like the Timberwolves, and you'll see it on display tonight because even without KD, they still have Kyrie Irving, James Harden.
The Nets are coming off that huge comeback win against
Yeah.
the Suns with just Harden. Harden balled out.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He felt right back at home in Houston the other night.
I was missing 2 superstars, but they should still live up to its bill.
I think so too.
Two best teams.
Will be interesting to see. I have the Lakers on this. I'm going to revisit that later,
Do
actually.
you think this is the finals preview?
Yeah, right now, yeah. I mean,
Chris?
Yeah, it's hard not to be. The Nets bugged me. They really bugged me.
oh yeah,
Just go through it on the court. God.
injuries happen, Chris. Like right now, we talk about it all the time. The Sixers are still the 1 seed right in the East. I just don't.
And the Jazz are obviously killing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
We've
Both
mentioned them
that
several times on the show. We've given them lots of love on the show.
Yeah, they won again the other night. I think they've won now 11 in a row,
or something.
and they've won like 20 of their last 21. That's not supposed to happen.
19-2 against the spread in their last 21 games.
Lock of the night type stuff there. Which I don't know if we've ever had the Jazz, any of us.
No.
But yeah, they're good. I just don't like when you're in a conference with the Lakers and Clippers. It's just I still give them the third best odds to win the West.
This one tonight, nice Lakers. Can't give it to the Nets. 2 superstars compared to 1. I like the Nets odds. I know they don't play much defense, but no AD is a big impact. And as I said, this is one of the games where impact would be felt. Whereas
Yeah, but AD's been on what seems like cruise control for him all season.
Yeah, that's true.
Harden and Kyrie.
Your boy Randall's averaging more points than AD.
triple-double.
Yeah, he's talking about triple doubles. He's talking about Julius Randle. What's going on?
Chris, you talking about Julius Randle?
I said AD's average more point or less points per game than
You even
Julius
hear him?
Randle so far.
No, you can't hear him talk at all.
Really?
Oh, that's a shame. All right, Chris, what's your pick?
No, I don't want to hear Chris talk.
I got Lakers.
I like your stew, man. Obvious choice.
So I'm the only one taking Nets.
Yeah.
And I don't
And
like
I'm in first place in the picks.
Mhm. Did you pick Nets +3 then? Are you taking Nets +3? Oh, okay.
So shall we get into it then?
Yeah, that's fine.
No. There's no time in the show. We got to give the viewers what they want. Let's talk about some other tricks.
We got locks of the night. What other trades?
What,
Okay.
Blake Griffin?
Who cares about
Zach
Blake Griffin?
Levine, Bradley Beal got one.
Nowhere.
Bradley Beal's going nowhere. Zach Levine's just a fake superstar that everyone hypes up, so who cares?
Somebody's got to score points on that Bulls team.
Really? Like, I don't know what all the hype is. They're all like, he's playing with all the 20 years. Isn't there starting lineup? Are they all like 21 years old, aside from him? And he's only like 24. I don't know. I think Levine will get traded. Don't know where, but Beal's not getting traded. I don't think so.
How do you trade a guy that averages that many points per game?
Who are you talking about? Beal?
Beal, yeah. They're not going to do it. I mean, he says he
wants
doesn't
to be
want,
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he keeps
does.
saying he wants to be there, so keep him there.
It would be kind of rude to trade him, I think.
That's all right. They messed up trading for Westbrook, but that's a whole other can of worms.
That's a whole nother can of worms, like you said. Story for another day. But
I don't know. I think Beal's on his way out. You can't.
where's he going? The next?
Wizards stink. And I'm not for this guy to stay there. It's best for the Wizards to move on to. Like, you're not. They've seen over the past few years when Beal's only gotten better. Seems like the Wizards have only gotten worse. They added Russell Westbrook, and I like Russ, but dear God, it's been a brutal experiment.
Well, yeah, but Russ is one of those guys. Is he
Almost averaging a triple-double.
whoop-de-do? Win more
Like,
games.
it's easy.
Win more games.
It doesn't really
But
translate.
Russ is one of those guys that, his style of play as he ages, it's only going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. For Bradley
Falling
Beal,
fast.
Well, if you think Beal's getting traded, where's he going?
I'm getting these Knicks mellow vibes, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
You actually think he's going to the Knicks?
No. He was saying,
Oh,
the Knicks and Melo.
Because the Knicks, they were playing like this right before Melo too. They had some pieces, then they gave it all up for Melo, and when they could have just got him in free agency, now obviously Beal's different; he's under contract. But I just feel like the Knicks right now are in a good spot. There's no need to go crazy after someone unless he's the guy. And I don't think.
So you're
Beal's the
saying
guy.
you think the Knicks are going to give up the farm?
They're a 6 seed right now. Maybe Beal keeps them at 6, makes them a 5 at the best. Like I just don't think a player like him really fits the Tibbs system because is he much of a defender? Not really.
He was before he started scoring all these points. When he played with John Wall, he was a good defender.
Tough to do both, Chris.
Yeah, one or the other.
He chose the scoring route. I don't know. I don't think he gets moved, but if he does, I hope it's the Knicks. Hope for you. That'd be cool.
I don't know how I feel, but
Shall we get into it now?
Yes.
yeah,
Locks of the night. Let's review Tuesday.
I'll let 2 guys behind me go.
Oh, my gosh. Here we go.
Oh, look, there's our records on screen.
Yes.
All right, so Tuesday, Shalhoub goes 0-2. We're just going to leave it at that. Sped, you go 2-0. You had the what'd you have? You had the Lakers -6.5. They won. Washington Capitals +110 at Pittsburgh Penguins. They won. Chris, you were not on the show, but you sent us some picks. You had the New Orleans Pelicans money line. Easy win, big win. And you also had, you had Boston, right? They lost.
Chris.
No, I had Denver money line,
Denver against Boston.
and they lost.
Grow up.
Yeah, that's enough of that. All right, here we go. So I've got the Heat +1 against Sacramento Kings. And my other one, I've got, perfect. Raptors Bucks over 234.5.
Because you have Heat +1. Raptors, Bucks.
Yeah, Raptors Bucks over 234.5.
Bott,
The what?
Bott says, "Let me in." The
Hey.
private chat.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you Bott's picks then, since he's not here.
Yeah, let's start with Bott.
He did send in. There he is, right there.
Hey,
Bott.
Bott.
Hello, folks.
I can't hear him if he's talking. Bott.
Can we hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Headphones are
Are
being
you
weird.
giving your pick?
Yeah, I'll give them right now. For my first lock of the night, I got an over in college basketball, 139 points. Got number 6 Houston at Wichita State.
Okay, I like that.
All right. And also another college basketball matchup, two ranked teams instead of just one for my previous one. Number 11, Iowa, +2 at number 21, Wisconsin.
I like it. You are on a little bit of a heater lately. You're back to 4-4. You won last 4. Technically, your last pick we talked the other day because we had picks back last Thursday. But you've been winning. You're hot, so good luck. Yeah, you and Chris are at 4-4.
Grow up.
Nice to have you in. Appreciate the call.
Gotta stay hot, ladies and gents.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Bot.
That was awesome. Tom held up a note to the thing. It must have said, "Do you want Bot?" I couldn't read it. I thought that's what it said, but I was like, sure. That was awesome. All right, locks of the night. Matt Shalloe, 6-6. Lakers -2.5. So LeBron James. Washington Capitals over the Spurs. That's all I'm going to say. Capitals are lock it in. Ryan.
Well, I think the Nets are going to win, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now here we go.
Here we go. So,
I don't know.
so because you're the only guy with the Nets, you're going to sit there and run your mouth. Oh, I'm on the leaderboard. I'm first place. Then you're not even going to take him.
I got it.
It's a lock, but it's not a lock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's fine. Brooklyn Nets on the money line.
Good. You need a loss.
Might as well stick with it.
Lakers win. Huge game picked up for me.
I just think the Nets win. So you know what? If I think they win, I guess I should stick with it. And you guys are going to drop a game after that pick. And as much as I hate to say it, the Rangers. I was thinking between the Rangers and the Sabres.
Rangers lock.
They both stink. They both have no shot.
What are you saying about the Sabres?
Both the Rangers and the Sabres stink. There's no hope for either of them.
Keep
They are terrible.
Keep your opinions to yourself.
The only hope they have is when they play each other. God help us.
Sabres took 3 to 4 points for those listening at home.
So I was torn between Capitals.
Oh, it's Capitals.
Or
I mean,
the
if you want to like make a pick and win, you take the Capitals.
Yeah, but the Flyers too. You could win. On
Okay,
the Flyers.
put them to parlay them. There you go.
Parlay him, the misery continues.
Actually, didn't the Sabres beat the Capitals once?
Yeah,
A shootout. Oh,
they did beat them in a
change
shootout.
things. See the Rangers.
That was actually
don't
right
win.
before the Bills got their hearts broken by the Chiefs.
Long
Same day.
season. Long season. Things have changed.
That was unfortunate.
It is a long season.
But at least the Sabres won it.
COVID has been received, and weeks later, here we are for the Sabres. And, it's different. They've scored 1 goal in their past, 1 goal, their past 2 games since being back. They've lost
Wait,
their past 3.
never mind. Screw it. We'll leave the Rangers and the Sabres. They don't need the hearts broken tonight. The
They're
Devils are
playing a
playing
real team now. They're not going to beat the Bruins in Boston. Boston Bruins heavy.
What's that line? Like Friday minus 200 something.
I would even consider taking the puck line, but yeah, I'm risking a lot of units here. But I mean, we're talking locks. This is a literal lock. And honestly, if I lose this game, I just should not pick again because, I mean,
Good to hear it. Hold them to it. Lock that in.
if I lose this, you can, I'll say this: if Boston loses to the Devils, you could take 2 games off. So that 8 wins can go down to 6.
You heard that?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That 8 wins can
Better
go down to
skin
6. That's how confident. So Nets on the money line, Bruins on the money line, 10-6 after tonight. Keep it up.
10-6. That'll get you to the NFL playoffs, right?
8-6 would too in 14 game season. Who knows? 8-8 could get you in now. 7 teams. I mean, not for the AFC. But
7-9.
Good picks. Good picks, fellas. Me and Ryan will be back Tuesday, live again. Well, people
Thankfully,
watching.
Chris won't be here. So
With Justin Bott. Maybe Chris could call in, though. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Still
maybe
have
Chris
no
will
idea
call
what
in.
just happened, but it did.
Tuesday night? Yeah, I'll call in.
there you
Chris will
go.
call in on Tuesday to give us locks. I like this. So we'll be in here Tuesday. 3 of us.
With a visit from Chris. Chris will be back Thursday. Anything else you guys want to say before we peace out?
I enjoyed going live. It was fun. It was, like I said, Bob was a total surprise.
Keep the comments coming.
Not see that one coming. Yeah, keep the comments.
Maybe
coming.
if we get enough traction, the end could be questions and lock of the nighttime. So if we get
I
enough
like
questions,
that.
couple questions throughout, it was fun. But yeah, should be a good time.
I'm still stuck. Bot just randomly showing up on screen.
Like I said, I had a feeling something was going to happen, but I wasn't really sure. And then you said that he said let you in.
Yeah, he's typing in "let me in" the chat, and then he said, "Oh yeah."
Gee whiz. Oh, I don't have the
Gee
private
whiz.
chat on. That's why.
Yeah.
Let me in. Wow, that was fantastic. But good show, guys. Chris, anything you want to say?
Spetty, can't wait to shave your head on air in 2 weeks.
That's what I heard. We will see you Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Thank you for listening to the MJM Grand Sports Talk Show on WSBU The Boss. And yep, that's right. Go Bonus.